Imagine a time before money. How would you get what you needed? In those days, people relied on bartering. You might have to barter. Bartering is the act of trading goods and services directly without using money. This system worked for a while. People would exchange items they had in surplus for items they needed. For example, a farmer with extra chickens might trade with a shoemaker who had an extra pair of shoes. However, it had a big flaw. The system was far from perfect. It relied on a double coincidence of wants. This means both traders had to want what the other offered at the same time. This means both traders had to want what the other offered. If you had chickens but needed shoes, you had to find a shoemaker who needed chickens. Imagine trying to trade a cow for a pair of shoes. The shoemaker might not need a cow. You need to find a shoemaker who needs a cow. That's not easy. The shoemaker might already have enough cows or might need something else in time. This difficulty limited trade and economic growth. People spent more time finding trade partners than actually trading. The limitations of barter were clear. It was inefficient and time-consuming. People needed a better system. They needed a way to trade that didn't rely on finding someone who wanted exactly what they had. They needed a common medium of exchange, something that everyone would accept in trade. This need led to the development of money. Money provided a solution to the problems of bartering by offering a universally accepted medium of exchange. With money, people could trade more easily and efficiently. They no longer needed to find someone who wanted what they had. This innovation spurred economic growth and allowed markets to expand. Trading became simpler and economies flourished. Over time, money evolved from simple coins to the complex financial systems we have today. But it all started with the need to improve the limitations of bartering. And that's why trading chickens got old. The invention of money revolutionized trade and paved the way for the modern economy. Early humans experimented with different forms of money. They used things that were valuable to them. Shells were a popular choice in coastal areas. They were durable, portable, and relatively rare. In other places, people used beads, salt, or cattle as currency. These early forms of money were a major improvement over barter. They didn't spoil like food. They were also easier to carry around. However, these forms of money still had limitations. Their value could fluctuate greatly. They were also not very divisible. This made it hard to trade for items of different values. The first coins emerged around the 7th century BC in Lydia. Lydia was an ancient kingdom in what is now Turkey. These coins were made of electrum. Electrum is a naturally occurring alloy of gold and silver. The Lydian coins were revolutionary. They had a standardized weight and purity. This made them more trustworthy than previous forms of money. The use of coins quickly spread throughout the Mediterranean world. This innovation marked a significant step forward. Trade became more efficient. Economies grew more complex. The invention of coinage paved the way for further financial innovations. Carrying around heavy coins had its drawbacks. The weight and bulkiness made transactions cumbersome and impractical, especially for larger sums of money. Imagine having to transport a fortune in metal coins across long distances. It was not only physically exhausting, but also risky due to the threat of theft. This led to the development of paper money. The need for a more convenient and secure method of transaction became evident. The first paper money appeared in China during the Tang Dynasty in the 7th century. This innovation revolutionized the way people conducted business, making it easier to trade and manage wealth. Merchants used promissory notes as a form of credit. These notes were essentially promises to pay a certain amount of money at a future date, backed by the credibility of the issuer. These notes could be exchanged for actual coins at a later date. This system allowed for greater flexibility in trade, as merchants could conduct transactions without the immediate need for physical currency. Over time, these notes evolved into a widely accepted form of currency. The government began to issue standardized paper money, which further facilitated trade and economic growth. They were lighter and easier to transport. This made it possible for traders to carry large sums of money without the burden of heavy coins, thus enhancing the efficiency of commerce. The use of paper money spread to Europe centuries later. European merchants and governments saw the advantages of this system and began to adopt it. It became popular during the Renaissance. The increased trade and economic activity of this period created a demand for more efficient financial instruments, and paper money fit the bill perfectly. This shift to paper money had a profound impact on global trade and finance. It enabled more complex and far-reaching economic interactions, laying the groundwork for the modern financial systems we rely on today. The evolution from heavy metal coins to lightweight paper currency marked a significant milestone in the history of money, transforming the way societies conducted business and managed wealth. For centuries, many countries tied their currencies to gold. This practice dates back to ancient civilizations, where gold was seen as a symbol of wealth and stability. The allure of gold was not just in its beauty, but in its ability to hold value over time. This meant that their paper money could be exchanged for a fixed amount of gold. People trusted this system because it provided a tangible assurance that their money had real value. Banks held gold reserves to back the currency they issued, creating a sense of security among the populace. This system was known as the gold standard. It was formalized in the 19th century, with many countries adopting it as a way to facilitate international trade and economic cooperation. The gold standard created a uniform measure of value, making it easier for countries to trade with one another. The gold standard aimed to create stability and limit inflation. By tying currency to a fixed amount of gold, governments could not print money indiscriminately, which helped to keep inflation in check. This system fostered an era of economic growth and stability, with many countries experiencing prosperity. However, it had its limitations. The rigidity of the gold standard meant that countries could not easily respond to economic crises. When economies faced downturns, the inability to adjust the money supply often exacerbated the problems, restricted a country's ability to control its own money supply. Central banks were limited in their ability to inject liquidity into the economy during times of need. This inflexibility often led to prolonged periods of economic hardship. This could be problematic during economic downturns. The Great Depression of the 1930s is a prime example, where the gold standard's constraints prevented effective monetary policy responses, deepening the economic crisis. The gold standard was eventually abandoned by most countries in the 20th century. The economic pressures of the world wars and the need for more flexible monetary policies led to its decline. Countries realized that a more adaptable system was necessary to manage modern economies. This was partly due to the economic pressures of the world wars. The massive expenditures required for war efforts and the subsequent need for economic recovery made the gold standard impractical. Governments needed the ability to print money and manage their economies without the constraints of gold. The world shifted towards a system of fiat currencies. Unlike the gold standard, fiat money is not backed by a physical commodity, but by the trust and authority of the government that issues it. This shift allowed for greater economic flexibility and the ability to implement more dynamic monetary policies. Fiat money is not backed by a physical commodity like gold. Its value is derived from the government that issued it. This gives governments more flexibility in managing their economies. They can adjust the money supply to influence inflation and economic growth. However, fiat currencies are also subject to inflation and manipulation. Their value can fluctuate based on government policies and market forces. Despite these risks, fiat currencies have become the dominant form of money worldwide. They facilitate global trade and economic activity. They have also paved the way for the digital revolution in finance. The 21st century has witnessed the rise of digital currencies. Bitcoin, created in 2009, is the most famous example. Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency. It operates on a technology called blockchain. Blockchain is a secure and transparent way to track transactions. It does not rely on central authorities like banks or governments. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies offer several potential advantages. These include lower transaction fees, increased privacy, and protection against censorship. However, they also pose challenges. These include volatility, security risks, and regulatory uncertainty. The future of currency is uncertain. However, one thing is clear: technology will continue to play a major role in shaping how we exchange value. Digital currencies, mobile payments, and blockchain technology are rapidly transforming the financial landscape. They are creating new possibilities for financial inclusion and innovation. The way we think about and interact with money is evolving. This evolution presents both opportunities and challenges. It is an exciting time to be witnessing the next chapter in the story of currency. As we explore the vast universe of money, it's important to remember the bigger picture. Currency is simply a tool. It represents the things we value as a society. In the past, we valued tangible goods like gold and silver. Today, we value the trust and security offered by governments and technology. What will we value in the future? Will it be knowledge, sustainability, or something we haven't even imagined yet? The answer to this question will likely shape the future of money itself. From bartering chickens to trading Bitcoin, the journey of currency is a testament to human ingenuity. We have constantly sought new and better ways to exchange value. This quest has driven innovation and shaped the course of civilization. As we stand on the cusp of a new era in finance, one thing is certain: the story of currency is far from over. It is a story that will continue to be written by the choices we make and the values we embrace.